The mockery and the gamble. Commander Arya Nash stood motionless before the United Earth Defense Council, her posture rigid despite 3 years of relentless work weighing on her shoulders. The massive holographic display behind her rotated slowly, showcasing her creation, the UES Phoenix, in all its unconventional glory. The ship's asymmetrical design, with its hull resembling interwoven strands of metallic ribbon, rather than the traditional solid plates of military vessels, drew poorly concealed snickers from the assembled officials. "This is what you've spent 4 billion credits on, Commander." Admiral Takahashi's voice cut through the chamber. "It looks like someone melted down a frigate and forgot to pour it into a mold." Nash kept her expression neutral. "The Phoenix's design serves specific purposes, Admiral. Its fluid dynamic hull configuration allows for unprecedented maneuverability in both space and atmospheric conditions. More importantly, its quantum entanglement core enables adaptive defense systems that can what exactly?" interrupted General Volkov, a decorated veteran of the Proxima Centauri campaign. "I don't see proper weapon arrays. Where are the shield generators? This looks more like an art installation than a warship." More laughter rippled through the chamber. Even Ambassador Zovik, the Altarian representative to Earth, flared her luminescent tendrils in what Nash recognized as their species' equivalent of dismissive amusement. "The Phoenix represents an entirely new approach to space warfare," Nash continued, undeterred. "Traditional warship design has reached its evolutionary limit. Every new ship class we've introduced in the past decade has been neutralized within months by the Krell Dominion. The Phoenix doesn't rely on conventional weapons or shields. It adapts." She advanced the hologram to display the ship's internal systems, a complex network of interconnected technologies that defied standard engineering principles. The Phoenix's primary defensive capability is its adaptive matter configuration. It can literally reshape itself in response to enemy attacks, learning and evolving during combat. "Commander Nash," Admiral Takahashi sighed, "your background in quantum physics is impressive, but warfare isn't conducted in a laboratory. The Krell are pushing at our borders with fleets of proven warships. Their Dreadnought-class vessels outgun our best battleships 3-1. And you're proposing we deploy an untested vessel that violates basic principles of military engineering." From the corner of the chamber, Dr. Eliza Rexton, Nash's chief engineer and oldest friend, caught her eye with a subtle nod. They had anticipated this reaction. Innovation was rarely welcomed when it challenged centuries of military doctrine. "We've run over 5,000 combat simulations," Nash replied. "The Phoenix outperformed conventional battleships in 96.7% of scenarios against simulated Krell tactics and technology." "Simulations," scoffed General Volkov. "In real combat, soldiers don't have the luxury of a reset button when experimental technology fails." The hologram shifted to display the Phoenix performance metrics against standard military benchmarks. The council members barely glanced at them, their minds already made up. Admiral Takahashi stood, signaling the end of the presentation. "Commander Nash, the Defense Council acknowledges your team's creativity. We'll allocate minimal resources to continue your research, but the Phoenix will remain docked at Europa Station until further notice." Dismissed. As the council members filed out, Ambassador Zovik approached Nash. "Your species' inclination toward unconventional thinking remains both fascinating and perplexing," the alien diplomat observed, her translucent skin shifting through patterns of blue and purple. "Is that meant to be a compliment, Ambassador?" Nash asked, gathering her presentation materials. "Merely an observation," Zovik replied. "The Altarian consensus would never approve such an unorthodox design. But then, we have never possessed humanity's remarkable capacity for adaptation under pressure." Dr. Rexton joined Nash as the ambassador departed. "That went exactly as expected," she said quietly. "They'll understand when they see the Phoenix in action," Nash replied, though doubt crept into her voice. Had she wasted years pursuing a vision no one else could comprehend? Back aboard the Phoenix, docked at Europa Station, Nash assembled her core team of 15 specialists in the ship's unconventional command center. Unlike the bridge of a traditional vessel, the Phoenix's nerve center was spherical, with workstations arranged in concentric circles around a central holographic interface. The Council's decision was predictable. Nash informed her crew, each handpicked for their willingness to challenge established thinking. "We've been allocated minimal resources, but the Phoenix won't be joining the fleet anytime soon." Dr. Rexton shook her head. "They're blinded by tradition. The Krell don't fight like humans or any of our allies. Their hive-mind approach to warfare renders conventional tactics obsolete. We continue our work," Nash stated firmly. "The math doesn't lie. The theory is sound." The ship's AI interface interrupted with an urgent tone. "Commander, priority transmission from Fleet Command." The central hologram shifted to display Admiral Takahashi's grim face. "Commander Nash, the Krell Dominion has launched a surprise attack on Helios Colony. Our defensive fleet has been overwhelmed." The Admiral's composure faltered momentarily. "Their tactics and technology have evolved beyond our intelligence estimates. They're somehow anticipating our maneuvers before we execute them." Nash exchanged glances with her team. This was precisely the scenario they had designed the Phoenix to counter. "All available ships are being recalled to defend the inner colonies," the Admiral continued. "The Phoenix is to remain at Europa Station as per Council orders. We can't risk experimental assets in this conflict." "Admiral," Nash began carefully, "the Phoenix was specifically designed to counter advanced Krell tactics. We've run simulations based on their hive-mind coordination and—" "The Council's decision stands, Commander," Takahashi interrupted. "Takahashi out." As the transmission ended, silence fell over the command center. "They're sending conventional ships against an enemy that's already proven they can't be defeated by conventional means," Dr. Rexton said quietly. Commander Nash stared at the space where the Admiral's image had been, her mind racing through possibilities and consequences. Finally, she looked up at her crew. "Dr. Rexton, bring all systems to full operational status. Lieutenant Chen, prepare the quantum entanglement core for extended deployment. Dr. Ahuja, run final diagnostics on the neural interface." "Commander?" Rexton asked, though her expression showed she already knew Nash's intentions. "The Phoenix was built for this exact scenario," Nash replied, her voice steady. "We can either sit here and watch colonies fall, or we can prove what this ship can do." "That would be a direct violation of orders," Lieutenant Chen pointed out, though he was already moving to his station. "Yes, it would be," Nash acknowledged. "I won't order any of you to risk your careers. Anyone who wishes to remain behind will face no repercussions from me." Not a single crew member moved. "Well then," Nash said, a hint of a smile forming, "Navigator Diaz, plot a course to Helios Colony. Let's show everyone what the Phoenix can really do." As the crew rushed to their stations, Nash interfaced with the ship's systems through her neural link. The Phoenix responded instantly, its unusual configuration humming with energy as dormant systems activated. "Undocking procedures complete," reported Diaz. "We're clear of Europa Station. Course to Helios Colony plotted through the Enceladus jump point. Conventional transit time would be 42 hours, Lieutenant Chen added from his station. Nash nodded. "Activate the space-time compression drive." Chen's hands danced across his console. "Compression field generating. Space-time fold in 3, 2, 1. The stars outside the viewports seemed to stretch and bend as the Phoenix engaged its most controversial system. Rather than traveling through space like a conventional ship, it compressed space-time itself, shortening the distance between points. Transit time reduced to 5 hours. 23 minutes, Diaz announced, a note of pride in her voice. Nash settled into her command station, feeling the ship's systems through the neural interface. The Phoenix wasn't just a vessel. It was an extension of her consciousness, designed to respond to thought as much as to physical commands. "All hands, prepare for combat deployment." she announced shipwide. We're about to put 3 years of theory to the test. As the Phoenix hurtled toward Helios colony, Nash reviewed the battle simulations one last time. Everything depended on the Phoenix performing as designed, not just the fate of the colony, but the future of human defense strategy. Do you think they'll finally understand when they see what the Phoenix can do? Dr. Rexton asked quietly, approaching Nash's station. Nash watched the distorted stars streak past. They'll have to, Eliza, because if we're right about the Krell, conventional warfare is already obsolete. The Phoenix continued its journey, a strange amalgamation of human ingenuity and theoretical physics, racing toward a battle that would either vindicate its creator or confirm the doubts of those who had mocked it. The vindication and the victory. The Phoenix dropped out of its space-time compression bubble at the edge of the Helios system. The main view screen immediately displayed a scene of devastation that caused even the most hardened crew members to fall silent. The colony's orbital defenses, once considered among the most formidable in human space, floated in fragments around the planet. Twisted hulls of Earth Defense Force ships drifted lifelessly, testament to the ferocity of the Krell assault. Helios itself showed massive impact scars visible even from orbit, its cities burning beneath clouds of smoke and dust. Life sign scan, Commander Nash ordered, her voice tight. Lieutenant Chen grimaced at his readings. Scattered survivor signatures on the surface. The colony's main habitation dome remains partially intact. Population centers show approximately 30% of expected life signs. What about the defense fleet? Detecting emergency beacons from 4 ships, reported Navigator Dias. The Dauntless, Indomitable, Perseus, and Vigilant. All heavily damaged and operating on minimal power. Nash nodded grimly. Open a channel to the Dauntless. The view screen flickered to show the smoke-filled bridge of Earth's most advanced battleship. Captain Rivera, his face streaked with blood and soot, stared back in disbelief. Commander Nash, what the hell are you doing here with that experimental vessel? Saving what's left of this colony, Captain, Nash replied evenly. Status report. Rivera coughed, waving away smoke. Total defeat. The Krell brought something new. Ships that can somehow predict our targeting solutions and evasive maneuvers. They were always one step ahead. We lost 11 ships in the first wave alone. And the Krell fleet. They've landed ground forces to begin resource extraction. Their main fleet, 7 dreadnoughts and at least 20 escorts, remains in high orbit. They're systematically stripping our ships for technology. Commander, you need to retreat and warn Fleet Command. That thing you're flying won't last 5 minutes against a single Krell dreadnought, let alone their entire battle group. Nash's eyes narrowed. With respect, Captain, that remains to be seen. Stand by. She turned to her crew. Tactical assessment. Dr. Rexton was already analyzing the sensor data. The Krell ships are exhibiting the predictive capabilities we theorized. They're using quantum probability fields to calculate our ship's most likely actions. Conventional warships are predictable by design. The Phoenix is not. Exactly, Nash said. Are the adaptive systems online? Fully operational, confirmed Lieutenant Chen. The quantum entanglement core is stable and the neural interface is at optimal efficiency. Nash took a deep breath. All hands, battle stations. We're engaging the Krell fleet. Commander, Dias said hesitantly, we're outnumbered 27-1. Numbers are irrelevant when the rules of engagement change, Nash replied. Take us in, full stealth mode. The Phoenix glided silently toward the Krell fleet, its fluid dynamic hull absorbing and redirecting sensor waves rather than reflecting them. The quantum entanglement core pulsed steadily, gathering data on the Krell vessels with each passing second. We're within range of their perimeter sensors, Chen reported. No indication they've detected us. They're looking for conventional ships with conventional signatures, Nash said. Prepare the adaptive matter configuration. Target the nearest dreadnought. The Phoenix's hull began to ripple and shift, molecular bonds rearranging themselves into optimal attack formations. Unlike traditional warships with fixed weapon emplacements, the entire vessel was essentially one integrated weapons system. Adaptive configuration complete, Dr. Rexton announced. Waiting for your command. Nash felt the ship's systems through her neural interface, the quantum calculations flowing through her consciousness like intuition. Engage. The Phoenix accelerated suddenly, its hull glowing with accumulated energy as it streaked toward the nearest Krell dreadnought. Before the alien vessel could respond, the Phoenix released a concentrated burst of quantum energy, not at the dreadnought's weapons or engines, but at its sensor array. The effect was immediate. The massive Krell vessel began firing wildly into space, its predictive systems blinded and confused. It worked, Chen exclaimed. Their quantum probability field can't function without accurate sensor data. They're adapting, Nash warned, feeling the shift through her neural link. The other dreadnoughts are redirecting sensor coverage to compensate. Prepare for evasive pattern delta. The Phoenix twisted impossibly, its hull flowing like liquid metal as it evaded concentrated fire from 3 Krell dreadnoughts simultaneously. What few hits connected seemed to be absorbed into the ship's structure, the energy redirected and repurposed. Hull integrity at 92%, reported Dr. Rexton. The adaptive systems are learning from each hit, reconfiguring to better absorb or deflect subsequent attacks. Nash smiled grimly. Exactly as designed. Target the command dreadnought. Focus on their communication nodes. The Phoenix dove through the heart of the Krell formation, releasing precise quantum bursts that disrupted the hive mind coordination between vessels. Confusion spread through the alien fleet as ships began firing on friendly targets, their predictive systems compromised. The Krell are launching fighter squadrons, Diaz warned. Over 200 small craft incoming. Perfect, Nash replied. Initiate dispersal sequence. The Phoenix's hull began to separate into hundreds of smaller components, each independently controlled yet still connected through quantum entanglement. What had been one ship suddenly became a swarm of autonomous units, overwhelming the Krell targeting systems. The bridge crew watched in awe as their view screens showed the Phoenix's components dancing among the Krell fighters, neutralizing them with precision strikes before reforming into larger configurations to target the capital ships. After 20 minutes of chaotic battle, 3 Krell dreadnoughts were drifting powerless, their systems completely shut down. The remaining fleet was in disarray, their vaunted coordination shattered by the Phoenix's unconventional approach. Commander, Chen's voice was urgent. The remaining dreadnoughts are converging. They're adapting to our tactics. Nash could feel it through the neural interface. The Krell were learning, reconfiguring their own systems to counter the Phoenix's advantages. Warnings flashed across her consciousness as the quantum calculations showed their diminishing odds of success. They're attempting to establish a meta-connection between their remaining ships, Dr. Rexton reported. If they succeed, they'll be able to predict our movements again, even with our adaptive capabilities. Nash's mind raced through possibilities. How close is their central command ship? 2,000 kilometers in closing, Diaz replied. They're bringing all their remaining firepower to bear on us. Then we give them a target they can't resist, Nash decided. Disengage the quantum entanglement core from the hull structure. Dr. Rexton looked up sharply. Commander, that's never been tested outside simulation. The core will be completely vulnerable without the protective hull, and irresistible to the Krell, Nash countered. Their entire strategy revolves around capturing advanced technology. Prepare to execute on my mark. The Phoenix reformed into its original configuration, appearing to limp away from the advancing Krell dreadnoughts. As predicted, the alien vessels pursued, sensing weakness. They're within optimal range, Chen announced tensely. All remaining Krell ships are focusing on us. Now, Nash commanded, separate the core. The Phoenix's hull peeled back, revealing the brilliant blue sphere of the quantum entanglement core, the heart of the ship's revolutionary technology. It floated free, seemingly defenseless. The Krell response was immediate. Their dreadnoughts ceased fire, extending capture fields to secure the precious technology. They've taken the bait, Diaz whispered. All Krell vessels are redirecting power to their tractor systems. Nash closed her eyes, connecting directly with the detached core through her neural interface. Initiate quantum cascade. The core began to pulse, each flash brighter than the last. The Krell ships, now intimately connected to it through their tractor beams, began to shudder as quantum energy flowed backward through their systems. What's happening? Chen asked, staring at the readings in disbelief. The core is rewriting their ship architecture at the quantum level, Dr. Rexton explained, her voice filled with wonder. It's forcing their systems to entangle with ours, making them part of the Phoenix. On the view screen, the remaining Krell vessels hung motionless, their hull configurations beginning to shift and flow like the Phoenix. Their weapons powered down as their entire design philosophy was rewritten from within. Quantum cascade complete, Nash announced, opening her eyes. The Krell fleet is neutralized. The bridge erupted in cheers as the magnitude of their victory became clear. Not only had they saved what remained of Helios' colony, but they had captured intact an entire Krell battle group without destroying it. Recall the core, Nash ordered, and open a channel to Captain Rivera on the Dauntless. Rivera's astonished face appeared on screen. Commander, I don't. How did you? The Phoenix performed exactly as designed, Captain, Nash replied simply. Please inform Admiral Takahashi that the experimental vessel he ordered to remain docked has neutralized the Krell threat and captured 7 dreadnoughts for study. We'll need recovery and medical teams for the colony immediately. 1 week later, Commander Nash once again stood before the United Earth Defense Council, but the atmosphere could not have been more different. The holographic display behind her showed the Phoenix alongside the captured Krell vessels, all now exhibiting the same fluid dynamic hull configuration. The implications of this victory extend far beyond a single battle, Nash explained to the attentive council. By incorporating the Krell ships into the Phoenix's quantum network, we've gained unprecedented insight into their technology and tactics. More importantly, we've proven that adaptation, not escalation, is the key to surviving in an evolving battle space. Admiral Takahashi, his previous skepticism replaced by genuine respect, leaned forward. The Defense Council has unanimously approved immediate production of 5 additional Phoenix-class vessels. Commander, you will supervise their development and training of their crews. Thank you, Admiral, Nash replied. But there's something else you should understand. She gestured, and the hologram shifted to show the Phoenix, its structure constantly flowing and changing. The Phoenix isn't just a ship design. It's a new paradigm. Each vessel will continue to evolve based on its experiences, sharing those adaptations across the quantum network. In a very real sense, our defense fleet will become a single, constantly improving entity. Ambassador Zovik, watching from her seat, flared her luminescent tendrils in what Nash now recognized as respect. It seems humanity has once again demonstrated that your greatest strength lies not in your technology, but in your willingness to embrace change when others cling to tradition. As the council meeting concluded, Dr. Rexton joined Nash. Not bad for an art project, wouldn't you say? She quipped. Nash smiled, watching the holographic Phoenix shift and flow, constantly adapting even in simulation. This is just the beginning, Elisa. We've changed the nature of warfare itself. The Phoenix continued its silent dance in the hologram, no longer an object of ridicule, but a harbinger of humanity's adaptive future. Proof that sometimes the most powerful ideas are those that break free from conventional wisdom.